Think of the money. Thousands of dollars every month without breaking a sweat or any bones. A new life.
I don't want a new life.
I'm Vinnie Jones, and my character is Neelan in The Big Ugly. It's an oil deal that goes wrong between some Brits who want to invest in the oil business.
So here we are, invested in an oil operation. Preston needs cash flow. Harris needs a cleaner.
Oh! I got a loan.
I'm an oil man.
There's so much more. I love you.
You know, there's a son of Ron Perlman's. It puts the whole deal in jeopardy.
Fee? She's missing. I need you in London. Not leave until I find her. If I can't stop a beast like him, then what's my purpose?
I think it's a love story. I think it's redemption. I think Neelan is in a rut. He's a heavy drinker, and I think the drinking gets him through stuff. And I was a drinker myself, retired drinker. I retired 7 years ago, so it relates a lot to me personally. A lot of people think drink can get them through, and it takes away the pain, the memory. It doesn't. It makes it worse. And you see that in Neelan. There's a great quote that he says when Harris comes into him and he says, yeah, go on, have a drink, you know, that'll take the pain away. That's what you've always done. You know, you're not killing people. I've done all your dirty work all these years.
Go on, get on with it. Or if you've forgotten how to do it. It was easy having me do it for you all these years, wasn't it?
So I think it all comes true for Neelan, that he wants to kind of get out of this. He's not bothered anymore. And although he's ruthless,
I love you.
he has got a girlfriend, he has got a love. And when it all kind of goes wrong and she goes missing,
Pick up the phone. I'm lost.
that's when it dawns on him. And there's more to life than the oil and the boss and the killing and the money. The 25 million doesn't matter to him. It now is all about the love that he had, and it's too late, he's lost it. So there's a lot of redemption there. I first met Scott Weiper in a deli in a coffee bar in Santa Monica. He was the director, writer of The Condemned, and I just thought we gelled perfectly, and so we ended up doing that movie. I had my family out there with me. I had Tanya, and they got very close with Scott, and Scott's mum and dad came out. We became very, very close. And then I used to go down to Venice and have a drink with the boys. He said, you know, I've got to write a movie for you. He's very intelligent, Scott, and he came up with about the fracking and the oil deals and everything else. He said, what about if you're number 2 to a guy? Because when you read the script, you automatically would say, yeah, Vinnie's Harris, he's the boss. No, we went a different way. We said, why don't we get a Brit legend and I play his number 2?
All right, let's get this show on the road here.
So he came up to my house in Hollywood Hills. Tanya made him dinner, and he kind of went through it, and I was reading as we went. I actually said to him, right, leave it with me, and I'll do all the English stuff, because it's hard for Americans to write English, I think, it can be cheesy. It wasn't a rewrite, it was loads and loads of notes on just the British stuff. Like he would say this, he wouldn't say that, he would do this, he wouldn't do that. Back to Scott with all the notes. Okay, he came back up, went over it, I'd read it all. Tanya had read it, my wife came out and we sat there and she said, you two have got to go for this. So then he said, where are we going to get the money? So I said, you leave that to me. There's different ways of producing. I don't know all the technical stuff and all the rest of it, but I know how to talk to people. I know how to swear at managers and agents. I know how to get the job done. And I know how to explain a passion to somebody and pass that on, I think. That's what I'm good at. So we got a good combination, really. If you take Scott, with his enormous wealth of filmmaking and my enormous wealth of street-wise.
Nasty scratch you got there.
So I was producing and acting and trying to protect Scott, really, to do the directing. And we done the same as what we did on The Condemned. We would polish stuff as we went. It's very important for Scott and myself to kind of come under this rock of Vinnie Jones always plays the gangster and Scott Wiper always does WWE movies and show what we can do. And I think this is us both at our best. It's definitely Jones at his best as Neelan, and it's definitely Wiper at his best as writer and director. I was in Detroit. I got a friend there. He's like a brother to me, Mark. And we were talking, and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "We're going up to Virginia." And
Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, on the side of the lonesome pond.
got the script, and we're gonna, see if we can develop it more and get a feeling for it up there. And the more and more we told people this, they were like, "Just the two of you in a pickup? You need guns, you need pickaxe handles, you need knives, because it's dodgy up there. If you're an outsider going up there deep into the Appalachian Mountains, mate."
I'm staying in the car, yeah.
You don't want to come out with me?
Guys, I think I should keep the engine running. Seriously.
And we're two big boys. You need plenty of tools with you. Mark said to me, just on passing, he said, "You know what, I might know a couple of guys that might be interested in investing. I'm going to set up a meeting for you." In my drinking days, I would never have gone to this meeting. I'd go, "Oh, get them to come over here, we're partying." It wouldn't have happened. So, step one of the retirement of drinking was I went to the meeting. And I found a lot of times in the process of making this movie, there are good luck, there's bad luck. There's good fortune, there's bad fortune. But you've got to dust yourself down on the bad stuff, and you've got to keep positive on the good stuff. Obviously, you can't get to a lot of these actors, so I used a lot of contacts that I had. I made some phone calls. I found Ron Perlman personally, and I said, "We're not messing around." I phoned Malcolm McDowell personally. "Yeah, you're full of crap." I said, "I got the money. I'll have it wired in escrow to you by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, if you are in."
You took the scenic route, didn't you?
I did take the scenic route.
Now we've got our big two boys. I play golf with Bruce McGill. I gave Bruce the script at the golf club. I said, money. He said, "Don't talk about money." He said, "If I like the script, I will do it. From your budget, I will know where I stand salary-wise." I mean, a genius of a man, Bruce. He knows his stuff. The casting people done a fantastic job. And I enjoyed that process. I was on the phone to some managers and agents, a bit of screaming and shouting. We got a fantastic cast. We were very lucky. Nick Braun was interesting because he's a big lad, and Levin is only a small gal. The chemistry, I didn't see how it was going to fit, but Scott went, "Give me this one." So, fantastic decision. Nick is up and coming now as well, which is great. Levin is, she's an old pro.
Hey, what can I get you?
She'd come to work and she'd just know her dialogue and just bang it out as if she hadn't even, like, "This is too easy, come on guys." And her performance is awesome. I got Lenora, I worked with Lenora. I recommended her with Scott. I said, "She's a good kid, she's humble, good worker." When she gets killed, it's a pivotal part of the movie. I got a couple of friends in there, a couple of American friends. There's a little cameo from Greg, one of the investors. He's a pilot and he actually does fly the plane. So we got him a little cameo in there, which was great. Scott had brought in people that he knew very well or that he'd worked with. I mean, that was really Scott's operation. From top to bottom, real professionals. Scott is into the shadows and the dark. It's not all bright and white and shiny. Jeremy was just awesome. He was a quiet guy, got the job done. I think every actor believed in him from day one. Ren done things to these old buildings. They got an old quarry and turned it into the build site. The set dressing was just awesome. It blows me away what these boys could do. We weren't there to have a jolly up and a good old boys' time. We were there to make this real proper movie that me and Scott could stand up with our chests out and say, that is who we are. When people do these videos, these actors, they've got to stop saying, yeah, it was the best time ever, and all this. No, it was like going 10 rounds with Mike Tyson, it really was. We worked our arses off, and everybody was ready to flake out in bed. It was tough in the woods and everything, with all the ticks and everything else, and the heat. Tempers were on thin ice a lot of the times, you know? But we dug in there when there was a problem. Sometimes Scott would have to walk away and I would come in. It's all teamwork. Look, I was captain of most of my football teams I played for. All the lads are not going to love you. All the lads ain't going to hate you. You're in the middle somewhere. But if you're honest and fair with them, you expect them to be honest and fair with you. But if they believe in you and they believe in your director, I think you're onto a winner. And I think that's a big thing about movie making is whoever is at the top, i.e. the director, the actors have to trust him. During the filming of this movie, my wife was critically ill. She ended up passing away at the end of this movie. Scott, leading up to the filming, lost his mum and dad. So there was a lot of emotions. There was a lot of late night chats between myself and Scott. It was more than a movie for us to make. Neelan was considerably easier to play with everything going on in my personal life than I thought. She was our staunch supporter on this movie. When Scott first came up to me and said, I want to get this going, she was the one that said, go, go this week, go out to Kentucky, West Virginia, go and look round. And she pushed us. And the last song by Exile was Tanya's choice. She phoned up while we were filming in Kentucky and she said, tell Scott I found this fantastic song. The greatest thing of all this is that she got to see a finished director's cut. This is in loving memory of my wife, Tanya.